We've got an exciting announcement for the channel today. Bitcoin is holding over $71,000. Bitfarms is holding at an excellent level. We also have the Mara production update that we'll go over in this video, and we'll wrap it up there. So first of all, we have merch now for Trade Cave. This is the Trade Cave Etsy store. There is the link in the description, also on our page, on our channel page on YouTube. You can see right now we just have the 4 different products right now. T-shirts, all of them T-shirts. We got 2 different dragons. We've got the logo for Trade Cave, and we also have Sir Doge, Lord of Maximum Coinage over here. Those are all going to run you about $29.99, no extra shipping charge, and should arrive in about 3 to 5 days once you make that order. These are print on demand, so as soon as you order them, they get made and they get sent to you in a couple of days. Go ahead and check that out here today. This is a brand new thing. I'm really excited about this. I do plan on getting more products on here soon, and just keep your eyes on the store. There's going to be new stuff coming out every once in a while. All right, let's move on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently flagging here over $70,000. This is actually really nice to see. I think it's going to hang out here for a couple of days, perhaps. As long as we stay above that $70,000 mark, we're feeling pretty bullish here. This is looking like a bull flag as long as we hold above that $70,000 mark. And if we can do that for another day or two, this green line here, the 5-day moving average, should catch up to us. And once we tap that again, I think that'll give us some fuel to move back up and potentially even run for the all-time high on this thing. Now, if we turn on the fibs, let's see, the fib extension Bollinger Bands. Yeah, the next level on the fib, which is going to be the 618 area, is $77,000, which would give us a brand new all-time high. So that's pretty exciting. And I like that it's just holding here. The RSI isn't overbought. The volume is kind of flattening. I don't like that, but it is still pointing the right direction. We'll see how we close today and tomorrow. I wouldn't mind seeing something like back here. Like, let me make this bigger on the volume. Like back here in May, early May, when it kind of curled over, came to a point, gave us 2 days slightly down, touched the 5. If you notice here, we got way off the 5. Up a little bit further, volume started curling over. We had 2 days negative, touched the 5, and then launched. I'm looking for a similar kind of move right now. I want to see it hang out where it currently is, maybe even come down a little bit, meet the 5, and then launch from there. That's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. That's what I want to see. If we get back below $70,000, though, then I think that this may want to test the 20 down at 68,000, or maybe even go a little further back down to that $66,000 range again, if it doesn't hold above 70 for the remainder of the week. All right, let's take a look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms is hanging out at $2.49 right now, which is excellent. We love to see that the volume is kind of flattening out a little bit. The RSI is overbought on the daily. We are very, very far away from the fib midline as well as the 5-day. So I'd like to see us hang out here. Remember though, the 5-day is down here at $2.39, and we have been using the 5-day moving average as support since May 17th. We have not gone below the 5-day moving average. I don't expect that to change right now until it does. And then once it does, then we'd be looking at this purple line as support, and below that, the yellow line all the way down here at $2.03 for support if we break that purple line. Well, first we have to take out the 5, and the 5 is at $2.39, which is above RIOT's offer, and I don't think that we're going to go below it anytime soon. I think this thing is going to launch off. Now, there is speculation that RIOT is still buying shares, and that's fine. I welcome it. Buy more shares, drive my share price up, then Bitcoin will drive my share price up, and then we'll be on the promised land from there. So I'm pretty happy about that. Very, very much enjoying this price action on Bitfarms right now. At some point, we will see some kind of a pullback. I would like to see the 20 get a little higher, maybe come up to that 230 range. I'd like to see the 20 get closer to, that 230 range before we get that pullback so that it can meet it around that area. But for now, I'm happy with the 5 holding us up on the daily, and that's just fantastic. Now let's take a look at Mara today. Mara is actually holding up near $21. We've got the volume oscillators about to flip green on the daily. That's great. We're in bull territory on the RSI. Things are looking good. We have this really, really bullish candle from yesterday. Like, we fell all the way down to 1941, but it just held up the bulls to push it all the way back up. And this morning we opened up at 2157, and we are getting beaten down a little bit, but as long as we can close the day above $21, I'm feeling pretty good about this price action right now. So let's take a look at Mara's May production. So what happened in May? So They have increased their operational hash rate 22% in May to 25.7. If you remember before, it was 21.1, I believe. Let me take a look. This is from April. It was 21.1 was operational, 29.9 installed. In fact, they're over 30 exahash installed now. And if we scroll down, where did it go? It was 30. Yeah, they now have 30.6 installed for exahash, but they're mining with only 25. That's pretty normal for Mara. They usually run between like a 70 to 80% efficiency rate in terms of like how much exahash they have available versus what they're producing with. Usually it's significantly lower than something like CleanSpark or Bitfarms or a few of the other miners. And same with Riot. The two biggest ones have kind of the worst efficiency, and that's just, that's part of their production. I don't really have anything to say about that right now. Okay, so you can see here now in 2024, they mined 616 Bitcoin in May, and this is a full month post halving. Compared to the year before, in May 2023, they were mining twice as much as they are now. That's normal, that's to be expected. We had a halving just last month. That's what was to be expected, and that's fine. I'm not super concerned about that. We are 27% down in production compared to April, which I don't think is the fairest comparison for pre to post halving. I think we need to go to March, and in that case, March. That's this one right here. They were mining 894. So they mined 894 Bitcoin, which was about 68.9%. So that they're still mining about 68.9% of the Bitcoin they were mining pre-halving this year. So that's pretty good. They only saw a 31.1% drop in their production from the pre-halving numbers. That's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by that, actually. A lot of the other miners were down by 40% or more. So 31%, I'll take it. That's fantastic. Good job, Mara. And as you can see, they've been getting rewarded for that in the chart, and that's great. And we are breaking out of this descending channel. We're way off the 5 though, so that's a little concerning. But I'm not going to talk about that quite yet. Is there anything else that is really important in this May update? Let's see. Oh, the Treasury has increased to 17,857, which is an increase of a little over 200 Bitcoin. So they sold about 400 of the Bitcoin that they produced in May. So they sold the majority of their production, which is, I mean, we're at the top of the range. If you're not selling some of your Bitcoin at the top of the range to support operations, to support growth, then what are you doing? I mean, it's a great spot to sell in the case of a miner like Marathon that has huge hodl. Totally a great place to make a sale. And in fact, I was actually listening to McNally Money yesterday. Now, of course, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I like some of the interviews that they get. Yesterday, they had the CEO, I believe it was the CEO of IREN on, and he was discussing his philosophy of the no hodl philosophy that IREN is currently taking on. And honestly, he was kind of convincing me. Like, honestly, I would go and watch it. He was convincing me. And I am going to be looking at IREN a little bit more because of the way he was just explaining how that if he can make more money selling Bitcoin and putting that into the business than holding the Bitcoin, then he has a duty to do that and all that. It was great. Go listen to it if you got some time and you're interested in IREN at all. Yeah, it was just good. They have some really good interviews over there sometimes. It's long. It's like an hour long. So, even at double speed, it's a bit of a long one. Takes up the majority of my commute. But absolutely worth listening to whenever you get those interviews with the CEOs. And I think McNally Money, they get a good amount of CEOs on their channel. Of course, like I said, I'm not affiliated with them, never met them before. I just watch the CEO interviews that they do, and I like them. So it's not like every video that they do, but I like those ones specifically. So that is what is going on with Mara. We saw a 31.1% decrease in their Bitcoin production. They've increased their exahash, their operational hash by 22%. They're over 30 exahash right now, so they are by far the largest right now, I believe. Let me make sure core wasn't bigger. No, they're not. Okay, that's all I got for you in that respect. So let's take a look at some of the other miners real quick. So CORZ went nuts the other day, and it's still going nuts. That's insane. If you're in CORZ, I mean, you're doing a great job here, keep on trucking. This thing's going absolutely parabolic. I have no idea where this thing is going to stop. It's in price discovery mode right now, and it could just keep mooning, or it could crash to the ground. I have no idea. This is super high risk right now. I am not in CORZ. I have my reasons for that, but if you are and you have good reasons for it, man, keep going for it. I mean, you're making money. That's great. I applaud you. I wish I were on that run, but I am not, unfortunately, and that's okay. You can't catch them all. You know, we're not Ash Ketchum over here. So yeah, CORZ killing it, absolutely crushing it. They're so far off the 5 though. The 5 is all the way down at 610, so be careful out there. You know, work with stop losses. You know, protect profit when you've got it. All that stuff is not financial advice, not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Of course, scientific, parabolic. Take a look at IREN. IREN's been going nuts too. And it's going nuts again. Jeez, look at this thing. Okay, so this one I'm a little concerned here. So it's coming up on the top of the fib here. The top of the fib is at 1027. I can't believe this thing is still going up. And as much as it's going up, that's nuts. That's insane. The 5-day is all the way down at 863. I just can't believe it's still going. That's crazy. Yeah, this thing's going absolutely parabolic as well now. Like I mentioned before, though, there is a bearish divergence in the RSI, and that concerns me a little bit. So you see how the RSI down here, back on May 22nd, it was at 90, like almost 91, and today it's at 85, but the price is up. The price is up 18%, while the RSI is down, you know, about 6 points or so. That's a little concerning. Now, and I've drawn this line here. This is the trend line for it. Now it's getting a little, yeah, that's fine. I'll leave it here. It's pretty far away. It has a pretty far ways down to go before the bearish RSI divergence is confirmed. So I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm just saying it is there, something to pay attention of. I would probably have a stop loss put on this thing around like $8, just under $8, like 797 or something, 796, somewhere around that is probably where I would put a stop loss on this thing, because if it comes back down into that zone, there's not tons of support here, and I would expect it to come a little further down. Let me turn on the charts. Yeah, I'd expect it to probably come down to the 20. Like if it loses the 5, honestly, if it loses the 5-day at 861, because this one has been using the 5-day moving average as support, just like Bitfarms has, since May 15th. It's been just staying above the 5, staying above the 5, staying above the 5. If it breaks the 5 and holds under it for like a day or two, I would be expecting it to come back down to the 20. And the 20 is currently just under $7. So if I had my stop loss at 796 and it blows right past it, goes to the 20 at $7, it's a whole dollar less I have to spend to get back into my position. I can get back in for $1 less per share. It's pretty great. And if that's, you know, if I have 1,000 shares, it's $1,000 that I saved. Awesome. Or I can buy, you know, more shares. That's what I'm looking at. That's probably what I would do. Or do like a trailing one. Sometimes people like doing trailing stop losses. Like I would look at what is that percentage from the peak of this thing down to where I was saying like 795 or so. Like 18%. Do like an 18% trailing stop loss on there, something like that. That's a huge stop loss. But you got to give these things room to move, because these miners, they move like crazy. And of course, this is not financial advice, not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Just saying that I see the bearish divergence. I see a parabolic move. Now it could keep going. It could absolutely keep going, especially once we cross this line over here. Like we are right at this previous peak, which is at $9.69. We get above $9.69, then we're looking back here. Then we got to look back here, and the next stop, honestly, is about about $12 to $13 once we get over 969. So yeah, about 12, $13. So we get over 969. I wouldn't be selling right now just because of the issue. Like if it fails to take out 969, then I think about selling and then like waiting for it to reset and then getting back in again, or just holding. You know, just holding is also a play. But once it crosses 969, I'd be looking at that $12 mark, honestly, on this thing. That's crazy. That's crazy to say. This is doing really great. So fantastic. Great job to anybody in this thing. Let's see how Bit Digital is doing today. Bit Digital is down 0.36%, so it's not doing so good, but it has been on a bit of an epic run here. This one's been kind of switching between using the 5 and the 20 as support. So right now we are kind of in the 5, and I think it's going to end up using the 200 as a support next if it breaks the 5, which is at 255. We're still hanging out about 280. $3 is really that big mark where Bit Digital starts getting bonkers. So That's what I'm looking at right now. It's not doing too much. Let's see what the fibs are looking at. Yeah, right on this purple fib right here. We got to get over 282 and hold over 282. Then we got a shot at getting up into the mid threes on Bit Digital. How's Riot doing? Is Riot still suffering? Riot is actually up 2.8%, so that's not so bad. It's at 992. I really want to see it break this aggressive downward trend. Now this looks like a falling wedge. Let me draw it. Is this a falling wedge or is it a channel? I don't know. Let's take a look. Like this. And then, oh no, this is a falling wedge. Ooh, I like that. This is really nice. Okay, I like this Riot chart now. I'm very happy about this. Okay, so this right here looks a bit like a falling wedge on the daily. We get above this line, we start breaking out. We could come as high as about $11.34 before running into some significant resistance. And then once we cross that, if we get over 11.35, then we can easily come back up to this orange line up here, which is now around $12. And that will be a bit of a next point of resistance. And let's see how the fibs and the SMAs line up. Okay, so the fib, right? Yeah, 1226 is where the next fib line is. See how we came into a falling wedge into the 382 fib Bollinger, and we're bouncing off of it this hard. I feel good about that. I like that a lot. I could see it coming back up to this purple line here. I'd be pretty excited if it did that. Let's take a look at the SMAs. How are the SMAs? Okay, so we got the 200 right up here on this orange line here. Yeah, so we really need to get just above 1027. Right above 1027, I'm feeling very, very bullish up to about $11.70, $12. Possibly between that $11.70, $12 to 12.27 is where I'd be aiming for if once we get over that 1027 mark, which is the 50-day moving average on Riot. There's one last thing I want to talk about today, and that is Solana. Let's talk about Solana. So Solana's been doing really good lately, and if you watch these videos consistently, if you're consistently on TradeCave, you know that I have mentioned on more than one occasion that that 160 level was going to be the floor for this move, and it has absolutely held true to that. Also, falling wedge right here. See this right there? Boom. And then we come here and see how it's just getting really tight, 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 and then blast it off? That is beautiful. And that falling wedge move, look, we came right up to it and we're flagging right at the top of the falling wedge now. Soon as we close comfortably above like 173, 174, we're looking at coming back up to that 188. And we take out 188. The only thing in our way now is 210 once we get up there. That's what we want to see. What we don't want to see is a repeat of this right here. We don't want to see a repeat of this right here. And what that means is I don't want to see this next peak on the right here come out lower than the one on the left. So I want to see this move right here take out 188. Otherwise, we're coming right back down to 160, maybe even lower. So this right now, our move is looking very similar, eerily similar to the move that we had in March. If we do not get above 188 in the next like 3 to 6 weeks, then I would be looking for this thing to come lower than 160, possibly revisit the mid to low 100s on Solana if it does not take out 188. So it needs to do that. Really, it's got to do that. That's why we failed here. That's why this became a double top, because the second top did not take out the first top. So it lost momentum, and as soon as we got this second candle here, this one here on April 2nd, that was the signal to get out, basically. Let's take a look at the fibs. Where those at? Yeah, this next fib up here. So we get up here, that's 193. Yeah, and that would take us to the next level, and that would be fantastic. Let's take a look at the SMAs. We're above all the SMAs. I really just want to see this 5-day get over the 20. We are over the 20. The 20 is going to hold us at 170 right now. The 5 is honestly up at 168 right now. So that's not so bad at all. The 50 is coming up. A couple more weeks, the 50 is going to be at 160. That's excellent. That's a lot of support all the way at several different levels on the way there. Now, of course, we can slice right through these, right through those, like we did back here in April. We're just like slice all the way down, almost come to the 200. Like that can happen in an instant, in a blink of an eye, just wipe you out. But right now, I mean, it is support. It's support until it's not, basically. So this is looking great. I love this Solana chart. This thing is looking good. All right, so that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and go and check out the Trade Cave store. Merch available now, and have a profitable day.